Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Kayla Carb-Forbes.
It's still a cold one out here today. We're expecting a few flurries with a low of -10 and -15 overnight. The chill will stay with us tomorrow with a high of -9, but it will feel like -22. There will be a mix of cloudy periods with a low of -15 in the evening. Friday, we'll see a high of -7 with a low of -15 in the evening, so you'll want to bundle up if you're heading out for the night. On Saturday, some more flurries are expected throughout the day with a high of -2, but it will feel like -12. Sunday, we'll have a mixture of snow and rain with a low of -3 to end the weekend. Starting off another school week, things are expected to warm up from the weekend with a high of 1 degree on Monday with scattered flurries. That's it for your weather update. Now back to the newsroom.
Thanks, Kayla. Now turning to international and national news. A battle over cultural freedom is taking place today in Quebec. The Parti Québécois has announced they will introduce a motion to ban the kirpan, the ceremonial dagger worn by Sikhs, from government buildings. This motion would join the proposed Bill 94, which would restrict women from wearing religious face coverings while receiving and administering government services. The issue ignited after 4 Sikh men were denied entry to the Quebec National Assembly building to testify at a hearing on Bill 94 because of their kirpans.
Ottawa will be reviewing the proposed merger of Toronto and London stock exchanges. An executive from the TMX Group, which owns the TSX, says Canadian customers would benefit from access to one of the world's deepest capital pools, while European investors would have a gateway to North American markets. Shares in the TMX Group have gone up almost 10% today in reaction to the news. The London Stock Exchange is also seeing similar rises. Financial experts say it is too early to tell if Ottawa will approve the merger.
Egyptian demonstrators are defying warnings from the country's vice president in the 16th day of anti-government protests. Vice President Omar Suleiman has called for negotiations between protesters and the government. He is warning if a coup takes place, it will create more chaos and there will be a potential military crackdown if order is not restored. Egyptians have continued to gather in Tahrir Square and are still blocking the entrance to their parliament buildings, demanding President Hosni Mubarak step down immediately. There are also reports that thousands of people are demonstrating in the cities across the country, and a growing number of work stoppages and strikes are taking place. Anti-government organizers are seeking to expand the protests to include the state-run radio and television buildings on Friday.
North Korean officials have walked out of the first talks with South Korea today, 3 months after the countries exchanged artillery fire, killing 4 South Koreans. Military officials left the meeting before a date could be set for further talks to defuse tensions between the two countries. The Koreas have been technically at war since 1950.
In health news, breast cancer patients may someday be spared additional surgery. A new study found women in early stages of the cancer did not necessarily need the majority of their lymph nodes removed. Certain women are advised to remove the cancerous nodes as well as a large portion of the surrounding ones, but the study found no difference in survival if only cancerous lymph nodes are taken out. The American Society of Surgical Oncology is currently reviewing the findings, and they say they will expect it to change their policy recommending the surgery.
Now for your feel-good news of the day. A North Carolina baseball coach has hit a grand slam in kindness. Coach Tom Walters at Wake Forest University has donated a kidney to freshman player Kevin Jordan. Jordan was diagnosed last year with an autoimmune disorder that can lead to kidney failure. Walter volunteered his kidney when none of Jordan's family members were a match. Both underwent a successful surgery Monday and are reportedly recovering well.
And now with your sports news, here's Rob Sykes.
Humber Athletics will be retiring the numbers of 3 athletes tonight at the North Campus. Landis Doyle, Andrew De Silva, and Joanna Alexopoulos will have their names and numbers raised to the rafters in front of friends and family. Assistant Athletic Director Jim Bialik says the night is important for the athletes as they are recognized for their performance as Humber career All-Stars.
Obviously, it's pretty special. It's probably the pinnacle, with maybe the exception of the Humber Athletics Hall of Fame, but in reality, anybody has their number retired automatically gains entry to the Hall of Fame.
Humber's athletic department will also unveil new banners for former Humber retirees. The Humber Hawks will look to keep the night a memorable one as the men's and women's volleyball teams host the Niagara Knights. The undefeated women get it started at 6 p.m. And on the night of her number's retirement, Landis Doyle will attempt to break the all-time OCAA aces record. She needs only 3. The men get going at 8 p.m. and a win against Niagara will put Humber into a tie for first place in the OCAA West. Moving to pro sports, the NHL, the Toronto Maple Leafs got a big win on a night when New York Islanders goalie got his big break. The Leafs faced Islanders backup to the backup's backup. That's fourth-string goaltender Mikko Koskinen. He made a surprise NHL debut when Kevin Poulin injured his left knee during warm-up. Koskinen let in the first 2 shots he faced, and the Leafs didn't stop there, beating the Isles 5-3 in Long Island. The Leafs host the New Jersey Devils on Thursday. And in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors will try to avoid another losing streak tonight when they host the San Antonio Spurs. The Raptors ended a 13-game losing streak last Friday with a win over Minnesota, but fell to Milwaukee on Tuesday night. San Antonio is the best team in the NBA and beat Toronto 104-95 on January 19th in Texas. Tip-off is at 7 at the ACC. Finally, the UFC is making its first ever visit to the province in Toronto since being legalized last year. The event is April 30th, and there are 2 title fights on the card. UFC welterweight champion George St. Pierre will defend his title against Jake Shields, and Chelmsford, Ontario native Mark Hominick will challenge featherweight champion Jose Aldo for his title. Tickets for UFC 129 go on sale February 12th. You're up to date with sports. I'm Rob Sykes.
Thanks, Rob. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Mike Van Easton.
And coming up in entertainment news, Lindsay Lohan's in trouble again, and we take a look at the box office.